So now we discuss the perps themselves. Yeah. What I wanted to point out is that perps start off as targeted individuals. There's two types of human being. One who can see into people's minds, and one who's empathetic and can sense when their mind is being read. The latter, the empathetic one, that's what the targeted individuals are. And the former, that's what the perpetrators are. Now, I've been watching videos about this program. Whatever you choose to call it, that's alright. You call it program then, alright. So, when we're inducted into these programs, well, with me, I started off very, very young. Now that I think about it, yeah. Some of us, basically, they traumatize us. They traumatize the perpetrators too. Yeah. Now I'm talking about perpetrators who resort to spiritual attacks. Yeah. I'm sure when you go to a psychiatrist, you have two types of schizophrenic. One that claims that their minds are being read, and another that claims that they can see into people's minds. Is it? The perpetrator is the one that can sense when the mind's being read, and the perpetrator is the one that's reading that mind. We both start off as targeted individuals. Yeah. So when the targeted individual encounters a perpetrator that can see into their mind, this is where spiritual warfare starts. Yeah. But for the perpetrator, I can imagine what their story is. If you're a perpetrator and you're watching this video, I can imagine what your story is. It's something like along the lines of, it's something cliche that happens to so many people. So basically, you must have been traumatized, you must have been bullied, you feel powerless, and then this trauma and the post-trauma that follows that forms your mind, yeah, into something that has the ability to see into other people's minds. So then you see revenge, then you say, okay, I can now feel powerful, that I can see into this person's mind, and then it starts from there. Then you can start saying, okay, now I can see into people's minds, I can fool around with them every time I get angry with society. So you're a victim too. Yeah? But for the people you're victimizing, we're the targeted individuals. So the targeted individual will be sitting there, watching his TV, picking his nose, whatever. Yeah. And then he senses somebody watching him. That's you, the perp. Yeah. So when he senses that, then he's a victim now. So instead of going around victimizing people, why don't you just like find some other ways of doing this shit? Because like you might get your ass kicked. Yeah. There's targeted individuals out there going on shooting sprees and doing all kinds of things. Yeah, but because some people can't cope with being watched, with their minds being violated. Yeah, so if you're a perp, then you got to consider that we're part of the same thing. We're victims too. But the problem is, when they victimized both of us, you became someone who can see into people's minds, and we became people who can sense when others are seeing into our minds. Yeah. So, as a targeted individual, when I sense that, there are other transformations of consciousness, yeah, that take place from a targeted individual point of view. I don't know about you perpetrators, but I can only explain my experience from the targeted individual point of view, because my mind is naturally that type, yeah, type B, where I can sense when my mind is being read or frequented. So when I sense a presence in my mind from another perpetrator, I've developed the ability to sense that. I've also developed other abilities. So I'm sure perpetrators have developed other abilities. It sounds like an episode of X-Men or something. So you got to bear in mind that you will develop your abilities based on being a predator, but we will develop our abilities based on being the prey. Yeah. Now, when you look in nature, if you had a lion there and a ram there, the ram would be the prey. Yeah. But then, if you look at the people that follow Yahweh, the manifestation of Yahweh as God, they look at him as the ram. Yeah, so they prey, but the ram has developed horns now. Yeah, and occasionally it does happen. You see buffalo out there with big horns mauling lions to death. Yeah, occasionally the prey gets pissed off. These are your shooting sprees and things like that. I don't do those things because my intelligence means that my primary purpose is to survive. My second purpose is to torture those who frequent my mind. So I will stay alive to torture those who see into my mind as they're trying to torture me. Yeah, nothing gives me greater joy than breaking someone who's trying to break me. That is my raison d'etre, if you like. Sorry, my French is not so good. So, as I can only say, teach, preach, and explain, yeah, based on what I see as a targeted individual. If you're a perpetrator, you're going to see things totally different. But that's how I see it. So we develop the ability to know when you're viewing us. That's one thing you must know. This is what the missing link is. Yeah, I'm here as a peacemaker. I'm a messenger of God. You can't attack me for delivering the message. Yeah. So you perpetrators and you targeted individuals, we're part of the same program. We're victimized by the same son of a bitch. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So anyway, as targeted individuals, we've also developed uh, special powers. Yeah. And I told you the first power is to see into people's minds. I won't reveal the second power, but if you are at the onset of being a targeted individual, that's something to look forward to. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know where you are in the stage of being a targeted individual, but if you look in nature, the predator and the prey affect each other's development. So you're gonna find that the more and more you know of what's happening, the more and more you're gonna develop these different abilities as your consciousness starts to cope with what it's realizing. Yeah. So that is the fundamental part of my talk today. It's just to look at both sides. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into what program we're putting, but obviously, if you look at things from the arguments that came about to bring about the Human Rights Act, if you're violating someone's intimate space, you're in the wrong. As soon as you step into someone's mind to view it, you're in the wrong. So whatever crap you see there, you are in the wrong for viewing that in the first place. Yeah, so I like to point out to these targeted individuals that become perpetrators, yeah, that remember, as soon as you become a perpetrator, you're the one that's in the wrong. Yeah, and there's no point looking for God. All God will tell you is then stop looking into his mind then if you don't like what you see there. Yeah, so as targeted individuals, we must fight back, but bear in mind that the perpetrators are scared individuals. They've been traumatized and they do some scaredy cat moves. Yeah, like calling other people, using voice of God methods. Yeah, they do some scaredy cat moves, but they are the perpetrators. Yeah, so when you know Jesus Christ, that's when you calm yourself down and you look and you reason. Yeah, and you start to say, hang on a minute, they've been victimized. It's like someone's perpetuating this predator-prey situation between within the human race. Yeah, and we can't. Those of us who become intelligent enough to see it, we can't just play the part. I was destined to be a targeted individual, but I can't just play the part. Yeah, I'm not gonna be a perpetrator, but I'm not just gonna sit there and play the part. Once I know what's happening, it's an insult to my intelligence to just play along. Yeah, so this is a message that goes out to those perpetrators that um, really know that they're victims. Yeah, if you know that if you're a victim, my message will resonate with you. Then you know that you're prey too. Yeah, but if you don't know that you're a victim, you're gonna think I'm being silly here. What makes more sense than violating another human being? But be careful when you choose that path, because there's targeted individuals out there that will beat your ass. Yeah, so be careful when you choose that path, and you can't say nothing, because you shouldn't be violating them in the first place. Yeah, you can't say nothing. Yeah, so be careful out there, whichever type of person you are, type A or type B. Yeah, if you know that we're part of the same program, then you're a different type of targeted individual. I would also like to hear from your experiences. Yeah, there's a few perps out there who's come clean and admitted they were perps, but we would like to hear about what got you started in being a perpetrator. Yeah, what traumatic event triggered off the whole sequence of events that led to you being someone who violates us. Yeah, and we got Jesus in our heart anyway, most of us. Obviously, some targeted individuals take to it different, and it's very unfortunate, but it happens. But yeah, we'd like to hear from those perps that understand that they're victims too, and then we'll see what we can do with this. That's it. Ciao.